So yeah, something like Friday the 5th or something, and I had a good sleep last night. I went to bed a bit later than normal, but I woke up a bit later than normal, about 5 or something, about 4:44, 5 or something, and yeah, it's just nice to be out on such a lovely morning that's cool, and it's this thing, isn't it? Can you find the space and time for yourself just to go for a walk, and can you find a bit of kind of nature and feeling like you're in the wild a bit, so like today I've taken this different route, a little bit, and I know it goes through a nature reserve in a minute, and that's partly because there's more like dodging and weaving needed, which keeps me in the moment a bit more and a bit more mindful, as in present moment focused, but also I'm having a look at foraging targets a little bit as well. Thinking about, has that tree that usually has plums, what's the crop like this year, is it heavy cropping this year or is it not, and all of this, is that pear tree or the apple tree that I know is there, I'm going to go and check on it a wee bit, so if you could get out into your local environment, have long walks, you'll start to notice, if you decide to be a bit more present, you can start to notice the wild fruit trees and the wild flowers around you, and what I'm also doing is I'm kind of a little bit checking, I do this thing where I spread flowers, so when I see a big patch of flowers in the wild, I'll tend to pick a few of them when they're seeding, and then I'll walk 100, 200 meters, and I'll make a little hole in the ground, and I'll put the seeds in there, and I'll cover them over. And it's like a long-term plan that all of my walking routes over the course of X amount of years will end up being covered in flowers, just from the flowers that already exist in the wild, generally. But you can also, there is this aspect where some people might like the idea of what you call guerrilla gardening, and I guess that is an aspect of guerrilla gardening, where people sometimes plant things in the wild, and see how it goes. So this is a good example where I need to duck a bit and be a bit, yeah. So anyway, so it's that thing, isn't it? It might be even like, where's those blackberry patches, So this is a blackberry patch that's coming up here, and it's like, let's keep an eye out and let's see which patches have got massive blackberries this year, and I might just get a little tub of them at some point, but this is actually, well, maybe not on this bit because this is a nature reserve, so I won't be picking anything on here, but there's so much other stuff anyway. But this is actually a nature reserve that's been built on an old rubbish tip. So this used to be the rubbish tip for household waste for this town, yeah? So at one point about 30-40 years ago or something, this was the rubbish tip, and so they've got these little vents here all over the place, and these vents are because everything's decomposing underneath this, yeah? And you wouldn't ever realize because it's just covered in lush plants now and trees, and so there's these things that are kind of for releasing gas, you can see another one down there, and they basically measure how much, I think it's CO2 or something, or whatever it is, I forget now, that's coming up from this place. But look at it, it's just like a lush place for trees and plants and fruit trees, all sorts. I don't obviously pick anything here because it's a nature reserve, but it's just interesting. How can we find little bits of the wild? This is full of birds now. That's a pigeon, and there's foxes in here and all sorts. And even like at Calthorpe Community Garden in London, there's actually this very small piece and that's in the middle of central London next to King's Cross Station. They've got a wild garden, which is a very small piece of their land there is designed to be wild, and so they've left it as wild as possible in there, like a little mini forest. And when you go in there, it's kind of like you're transported into the middle of the countryside, which is pretty cool, you know. And actually there's these little examples of that all over the place, and it's kind of thinking, where's my little, around where I live, where is there a feeling of being out in the countryside in the middle of nowhere, which might not actually be too far from the town centre. But anyway, you have a great one, and I'm off for a wee sauna, cold plunge, and then off to work. Have a good one.